Greetings, my name is Tyler. This is my YouTube channel. This is my first week of October vlog. Hopefully we'll get some spooky books in this month. That is the hope, the dream, the wish. It is October 3rd. Did I say that already? I just finished lifting. I just finished a book because I wanted to return to the library. And I have to run out and do errands. So I had to finish reading between lifting and running errands. Anyways, I can't remember if I talked about the books I'm carrying over into October, but White is for Witching was one of them, by Helen Oyeyeme. 3 stars. So when I read adverbs, I was like, I don't know what's going on. And I read this and I was like, I don't know what's going on. However, I found this to be a little more readable than adverbs. I just felt like I was missing something the entire time I was reading it. Like some sort of clue that would help me like put together whose narration I was reading, because it skipped around so much. There were so many different narrators. There was so much like odd formatting. I just didn't understand, and I felt like there must have been like a way to tell without reading a page and then realizing, oh, I'm actually reading Elliot's perspective and not Miranda's, or like this is the house's perspective. I think, I don't know, I didn't understand just about any of it. The house was weird. The women have some sort of connection to the house. And that's like really all I could put together. I was surprised how much of the plot was in the back, on the back of the book. Because some of the stuff they mentioned like didn't even happen until like the last quarter of the book, which surprised me. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have a bad time. I thought it was strangely like readable. Like I, in theory, was understanding what I was reading. I just like could not put the pieces together. So 3 stars, I don't know. I didn't have a bad time. Maybe I'll read some of her other work. I haven't heard of any of these other books. Maybe there's one with a more conventional plot that I might enjoy. I don't know. Currently I'm listening to an audiobook, which like I'm not loving, but it's something to listen to while I play video games. And I started Silk Hills, which is a graphic novel that honestly I might finish tonight, so you might see me again. Anyways, it is October 3rd, and I usually try and do a full week from the day I start the vlog, but I don't think that's going to happen this vlog, just because my weeks are starting to catch up with the day I post vlogs, and so I want to make sure I have time to actually edit. So this will probably be a short vlog, but we'll see how things go. I will talk to y'all when I have thoughts about the book. Bye! Hi, it is October 4th. The Friends of the Library sale has started, and I popped over and bought some books. I try to contain myself a little bit more this time. 1, because I still have a whole bunch of books from the last sale last year, and 2, there are so many like nonfiction books that sound interesting to me, but that's like what I bought a majority of last year, and I still haven't read any of them. So I like tried to not buy any nonfiction unless I had like a really good reason. So I ended up only getting 5 things, and I don't really think any of it was on my TBR, but I thought I'd show you what I bought anyways. Oh, I take it back. There was one thing on my TBR, and that's reading Lolita in Tehran. I tried to listen to the audiobook, but I just could not. It's read by the author, and just like the accent was just a little bit too much for me to like be able to listen while doing other things, which is how I like to listen to my audiobooks. So I got really lucky. This was like one of the first things I saw, so I just thought I would read it with my eyes that way. I got I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. I haven't read anything by Maya Angelou, so I thought this would maybe be a good place to start. And I am kind of a sucker for these like old paperback editions. When was this published? Yeah, like this was in the 70s. So like I don't know, I'm just a sucker for these paperbacks, so I could not pass it up. I feel like I didn't take a lot of English classes in college just by going to a liberal arts school. The like English class that I took was about graphic novels, so I feel like I missed out on reading some of the more like formative classic books that you might read in college by like famous Black authors. I've been reaching for them more, like how I've been making my way through Toni Morrison, so I thought I would add Maya Angelou to the mix. I also found a copy of Jazz by Toni Morrison. It was hardcover, and I just love these like older covers. I don't know, they just really make me happy. And look, there she is. Anyways, so I got that. I got Middlesex. I've read this before, but it feels like something maybe I might want to reread at some point. They had a copy of Virgin Suicides, which I have read before. I've read that twice, and really like it. But it was like the movie cover of it, which I do not want. So I passed on that, but I did go ahead and pick this up because I did enjoy it, despite I do think there was like some questionable things when I read it, just being written by a cis man about an intersex main character. Like it's probably questionable, but I did enjoy it, so like it is what it is. And then the last thing I bought, which is also nonfiction, even though it was in the fiction section, but whatever, Life After Death by Damien Eccles. Damien Eccles is one of the West Memphis Three, and you know, I've been in my satanic panic era, so I thought I would read this. I haven't read it before. Honestly, I'll probably pick up the audiobook too. I don't know if I'll actually read it with my eyes or not, but I just like could not pass up the hardcover at the book sale for $1. Like it was just not something I was gonna do. So that is the little tiny haul. I have not finished the graphic novel I've been reading, but I only have like 50 pages left, so I have a feeling I'll actually finish that today. And so you'll probably see me in a little bit looking different than I look right now. So I will talk to y'all later. Bye. Greetings. I told you you would see me again. I finished Silk Hills by Ryan Ferrier. Ferrier, maybe it's French, I don't know. This is a horror graphic novel. I said I was going to stop reading these, but I can't help myself. This is about a woman named Beth. She is a veteran, and she is kind of like a private detective person, and she's been hired by a man in Silk Hills to find his missing son. And this town is very weird, and there's like Mothman vibes in the town. I'll say, I don't think I fully understood what was happening in this. And for a while I thought this was maybe going to be like a 3.5 star. But some stuff happened at the end that I really, really liked the art of. And so while I don't think I fully put the whole thing together or fully understood all the different things going on, the art for this was just absolutely wonderful. There were some like like horrifying, like gross things that happened that were just like beautifully illustrated. I really, really liked the art in this, and so I'm gonna give it a 4 star, like just outright 4 star. I really liked the end, even though I didn't fully understand everything. I liked the epilogue a lot, and it like really bumped it up quite a bit for me. Yeah, it's also described as like a psychedelic story, like on the back, like, you know, the plot description. So part of that might just be that's like the type of story that Ryan Ferrier was going for, where you're not supposed to totally know everything that's going on, and you're supposed to kind of make your own inferences or judgments. But you know, that's kind of hit or miss for me in a book, like a novel. And it's a lot harder for me in graphic format because it feels so concrete, if that makes sense. Whereas stuff more abstract and ambiguous, like, yeah, you can draw abstract, ambiguous stuff, but it's a lot harder for me in graphic novels to go my own way with that abstractness, if that makes sense. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of where I was with it. But you know, I enjoyed it. I had a good time reading it. I took a couple days to read it. It was actually very short. It was under 200 pages. But I just read it in fits and starts. So that might have also contributed to me not fully understanding every piece. So there's that. I have one other graphic novel I've checked out just for spooky season called Cryptid Club, I think. Haven't started it yet, but that will be the next thing I read over the next couple days, and we'll hopefully finish in this vlog as well. I also started the Lost Children archives. I didn't know if I was going to like this or not, but I'm only like 12 or 15 pages, somewhere in that range, somewhere around there. I'm just a couple pages in, basically. But the writing is really speaking to me so far. It's definitely told in like short little vignettes. I keep saying vignette. I don't know what a vignette is, so I need to stop using it. But like just short little sections and kind of like different topics, but kind of so far seems to be kind of told more or less in like a linear fashion with like a road trip, and then like some of the vignettes will be like a memory of something that happened in the past. But like so far it's been really easy to keep track of, and I've really liked the writing so far. There have been 2 quotes already that have stuck out to me, and if it wasn't a library book I would have highlighted. So you know, fingers crossed. That one seemed like it was a big book, and it seemed like I was either gonna immediately love it or hate it. And so far, I kind of seem like I am immediately loving it. I'm giving myself a little more permission to DNF this, though. Just because, I mean, in general this year, I've been giving myself more permission to DNF, but it's a lot harder for me when I get like further into a book. I've found it to be very easy to start DNFing stuff, you know, like within the first chapter, the first 50 pages. Like if I'm struggling to get to page 50 just through like motivation, that's a good sign to me that like I don't want to read this book. But once I kind of like, usually once I get past 100 pages, if I've read 100 pages, I'm gonna finish the book. And I'm trying to give myself more permission to DNF later in books. So I'm not saying that's going to happen with this book. I'm hoping I love this, but it is a bigger book. So if it gets to the point where I'm just like not enjoying it, I'm going to try and hold myself to like, just let it go. Like, anyways, I'll talk to y'all maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Bye. We meet again. It is still October 4th. This is my 3rd check-in today. I just finished listening to The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls. I didn't love this. It did remind me a little bit of Educated by Tara, I want to say Winstead, but I don't think that's right, Tara Westover, which I really liked and was like one of the first audiobooks that I actively like enjoyed and helped me figure out that like memoir-y nonfiction works for me in audiobook format. So this kind of reminded me of that. This is about Jeanette's life with her very neglectful and odd parents. Her father is an alcoholic. Her mother is a very go with the flow type woman, but like to the extreme. And it's just like about her childhood and life. And I don't know, like it feels bad to say like this didn't work for me, because this is like her life and this is what she went through and this was like really what she lived through, you know. But I don't know. I do not know. When I updated Goodreads last night or the night before, I was like 46% in, and I was so surprised to see that it was under 300 pages, because I have been working on this for what feels like forever. It has just dragged. I don't know. I just like could not get into this book. I felt like it was missing some of that, like, I don't know, introspection is kind of the word that's coming to mind, but like making these connections to like the choices and things she's made in her life, or like just, I don't know, it just, I was missing that synthesis, if that makes sense. Like it started off with her seeing her mother in New York, and then that like seeing her and inviting her to lunch basically like triggered her recounting her whole childhood, and then like at the very end it goes back to them being in New York, and like the way I don't know, like the desire to get to New York just seemed to come out of nowhere, sort of like I just didn't feel like there was this building of it or explaining. I mean, like I get it, the life they were living was not great, and in the beginning of her life they traveled a lot, so it would make sense that like she would want to move, but I don't know, I was just missing something. Like it just unfortunately did not work for me, so I'm actually gonna give this 2 stars, which I guess is maybe surprising, because like I think this has like 4 point some odd stars on Goodreads. Like people love this. I don't know, it just didn't work for me. Maybe I should have read it. I don't know. It is what it is. So that is my thoughts on The Glass Castle. Yeah. All right. I will see y'all, I don't know, when I have thoughts about some other book. Bye. Hello. It is October 5th, and I was just about to start editing Monday's vlog, because it's Wednesday, and I realized that I did not do a check-in for the book that I finished earlier today. I finished reading Cryptid Club by Sarah Anderson, I think is her name. Sorry, I'm looking for my phone to confirm. Yes, Cryptid Club by Sarah Anderson. So she has written some other comics, that like Adulthood is a Myth cartoons that I know were pretty popular, I don't know, a couple years back, something like that. I did not realize it was that same artist, and I thought this was just like a graphic novel about cryptids. I thought it was a full story, but this is actually a collection of comic strips, similar to like what you would see, something you would see like on Instagram. Kind of reminded me of, what was that guy, Nathan Pyle, I think, who did like alien comics about like them being weird in modern society. Anyways, it's kind of like that, like 3-4 panels, cartoon strip, not a story connecting the strips together. It's just like a funny little joke. So it was fine. I gave it 3 stars. It just wasn't what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be an actual story. But hi, Tiger Cat. I just wanted to make sure I recorded this clip so I can edit it today if possible. So I will, Tiger Cat, I will talk to y'all later. Bye. Greetings. It is October 7th, and I think I have recorded every single clip I have done this week here, but it is the end of the vlog. I'm closing it off, mostly because I know I'm not going to finish anything really. There's like one thing that theoretically could be finished today. It's like a 92-page novella, and if I really focused on it, I could finish it, but I just am not focusing on it, so there's no point. So, I need to check in and do stuff. I have finished 4 books this week. That's like 5 or 6 weeks in a row where I have read 4 books in a week. That's pretty wild. The 4 books I read were, I finished White is for Witching by Helen Oyeyeme, which I gave 3 stars. Silk Hill by Ryan Ferrier, Brian Level, Kate Sharon. I gave that 4 stars. The art of it, loved. Good, great. The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls, 2 stars. Didn't really like it that much. And then Cryptid Club by Sarah Anderson, which I gave 3 stars. Yeah, I feel like those stars kind of really sum up how this week has felt. I just feel like I have not accomplished a whole lot of reading. All of these books are really short or stuff I had been working on before the week even started. Yeah, it's just like not blowing me out of the water. I didn't read as much. I mean, I guess 2 of those things are kind of spooky, Halloween-ish, but like I don't feel like I have gotten back into my groove for spooky October season. So hopefully that will go better next week. I am working on like a horror novella right now. I'll talk about those books next week instead of like constantly repeating myself about what I'm reading. So I'll talk about what I'm carrying over into next week in the next vlog. So yeah, I don't know. This week was just alright. Like I obviously still read 4 books and that's a pretty good pace. But nothing really just like straight up blew me out of the water. Even Silk Hills, even though it like got up to a 4, a good chunk of it was spent thinking it was going to be a 3. So, you know, so I'm hoping next week will be better. I'm keeping up with the bingo board, the Book Travert bingo board. And I'm only going to check in when I actually hit a bingo, so I'm not going to constantly show you what my board looks like. So there's that. Oh, and I forgot, last night I DNF'd The Anomaly by something Rutger, I think. Michael Rutger. This was a book that Paperback Empire, Lauren at Paperback Empire, talked about in her 3-star books that I love video, which was like a couple months ago. And I just picked it up because I was looking for an ebook, and this was one of the ones closest to the top of my TBR that was like available at the library. I checked it out. I read like almost 50 pages of it, but like, I don't know, the pacing just wasn't working for me, and while I was kind of interested in what was going to happen at the cave, I don't know, the writing just like wasn't working quite right for me. And this is like something she talked about in that video, how she found the writing to be kind of clumsy, but she found it really engaging. And unfortunately, like that engaging thing just didn't click for me quite, and maybe it would have once they actually got to the cave, but I don't know, I just didn't feel the need to push through, and I was wanting to pick up a horror book because I really felt like I hadn't read anything spooky, scary horror. So that's when I ended up picking up the novella that I am working on. So yeah, this one little DNF this month. Otherwise, I think that's really all I have to say at the end of this vlog. I think it will be relatively short. And I will see y'all next week. Bye!